Today's English has two very powerful voices. One voice is the casual, fun, always changing voice of social media. Think about all the slang that we use on Instagram or TikTok, like low-key or spill the tea. And then the other voice is the more polished, rule-bound voice of academia. This is the voice we use in essays, research papers, or business emails, where precision and clarity are key. Mastering both of these worlds means knowing when to be more relatable and when to be more professional. So today we will look at how these two different voices differ, why each one is important, and how you can confidently use both of them, whether you read chatting with friends online or presenting to your professor. So let's start by talking about social media English. This is the relaxed, expressive, and ever-changing style of communication that dominates platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Social media English thrives on creativity and often breaks the mold when it comes to grammar rules or vocabulary. But do we worry if you find yourself getting confused by all the new slang words or sentence structures? Because that is just part of the fun. As English evolves, so does social media English, and it encourages us to keep up with its playful evolution. One of the hallmarks of social media English is the heavy use of slang words and phrases. For example, have you heard people say, "I'm low-key tired"? Well, in this sentence, low-key is an adverb that means not very or kind of. So saying, "I'm low-key tired" is a way of expressing that you a little bit tired, but not too much. Another popular phrase you might have seen is "spill the tea." When someone says "spill the tea," they're asking you to share some juicy gossip or interesting information. It's like saying, "Tell me everything you know." These slang words and phrases are constantly evolving and changing, and they allow people to express themselves in a more casual and creative way. And using them appropriately can help you sound more natural and relatable in social media settings. Another interesting feature of social media English is the use of truncated or shortened words. Words like gonna, wanna, gotta, and kinda are all examples of this. These shortened words are created by taking the beginning and ending sounds of a word and putting them together. For example, gonna is a combination of going to, na is a combination of want to, and got to. Using these types of truncated words is not only a way to express yourself more casually, but it also reflects the fast-paced nature of social media communication. People want to get their points across quickly and efficiently, and truncated words allow them to do that. However, it's important to remember that while these words are commonly used on social media, they're generally considered informal and are best used in casual settings. And now, let's talk about academic tone. Unlike social media English, academic tone is more formal, structured, and precise. It's used in writing or speaking situations where clarity and accuracy are essential. This could include essays, research papers, business emails, presentations, or any other situation where you need to communicate complex ideas in a clear and concise way. When it comes to grammar, academic tone generally follows traditional rules more closely than social media English. For example, it usually avoids slang words or phrases and instead uses more formal and precise language. Additionally, it typically uses the active voice rather than the passive voice. The active voice is when the subject of a sentence performs an action. For example, the dog chased the ball. In this sentence, the subject dog is performing the action chased. On the other hand, the passive voice is when the subject of a sentence receives an action. For example, the ball was chased by the dog. In this sentence, the subject ball is receiving the action chased. Using the active voice in academic writing can help you convey your ideas more clearly and directly. It can also make your writing more concise and easier to understand. Another aspect of academic tone is the use of specific vocabulary. Using precise and technical words can help you communicate your ideas more effectively and demonstrate your knowledge of the topic. For example, if you're writing about climate change, you might use terms like greenhouse gases, global warming, or carbon footprint. Using these specific words can help your audience better understand what you're talking about and can make your writing more persuasive. However, it's also important not to use overly complicated or obscure words just for the sake of sounding smart. Your goal should be to use words that are precise and accurate without being unnecessarily technical or jargon-filled. And now, let's talk about how to switch between these two different voices. As we've discussed, social media, English, and academic tone are two distinct ways of communicating. They have different grammatical features, use of slang, and overall style. Being able to switch between these two voices effectively is an important skill for anyone who wants to communicate confidently in both casual and formal settings. One way to make this transition easier is to have a good understanding of the key differences between the two styles. Social media English is more relaxed and creative, whereas academic tone is more formal and precise. By understanding these differences, you can tailor your language accordingly. For example, you would unuse the same kind of language or grammar in a tweet as you would in an essay. Another helpful tip is to pay attention to your audience. Who are you trying to reach with your communication? If you're writing a post for social media, you can afford to be more casual and creative with your language. But if you're writing an email to your professor, you'll want to be more formal and to the point. By considering your audience, you can choose the appropriate style and tone for your message. It's also important to be aware of the context of your communication. What is the purpose of your post or email? Are you trying to persuade someone to agree with your point of view? Or are you simply sharing information? The context of your communication can help you determine the appropriate style and tone. For example, if you're trying to persuade someone to agree with your point of view, you might want to use more formal language and logical arguments. But if you're simply sharing information, you can be more casual and creative with your language. Practicing switching between these two voices is also important. It can be challenging to switch between two different styles of communication, but it can be done with practice. Try writing a post for social media and then rewriting it in a more formal style. Or write an email to your professor and then rewrite it in a more casual style. By practicing, you'll be able to get a feel for the key differences between the two styles and be able to switch between them more easily. In conclusion, English today has two powerful voices: the casual, creative voice of social media, English, and the more formal, precise voice of academic tone. Mastering both of these styles is an important skill that can help you communicate confidently in both casual and formal settings. Whether you're chatting with friends on Instagram or presenting to your professor in class, being able to switch between these two voices effectively will help you make your point clearly and persuasively. So don't be afraid to experiment with different styles and have fun with language. Remember that there is no right or wrong way to use English, as long as you're able to communicate your meaning clearly and confidently. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button below and leave a comment with your thoughts on the topic. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.